Well, the weather outside is frightful. It's springtime. We're not riding yet. We don't want to rip up the trails, but this is a good time to do some upgrades to our ATV. In this case, we've got a 2015 Polaris XP 1000. Customer wants a little bigger winch on it, so we're going with a 3,500 pound Bronco wireless winch with a synthetic cable today. So the first thing we need to do is to gain access to the lower frame mounting area here. We're going to remove this piece of plastic. We've just got a couple bolts here that we've already loosened off. So we're just going to back those out. And this gains us access to the mounting hardware that's already ready to go here from the manufacturer. And we're going to mount our bracket right into here, giving us a low towing point and all kinds of strength because we're right onto the frame here. So our aftermarket winch came with simply this bracket, which is designed to mount onto the older style frame in the ATV. Obviously that isn't going to work in this scenario, so we've gone ahead and ordered the Polaris bracket, and it very nicely slides right into place here, bolts right into the frame, and gives us the perfect place to mount our winch motor. So we've slid the Bronco winch motor into the Polaris bracket. We've fed the end of our winch cable through the fair lead and fastened our 4 mounting bolts between the winch motor and the bracket. So at this point we're ready to add on our power connectors and then actually mount the entire unit into the frame of the ATV. So we've got everything mounted. We have our wires connected. Next step is going to be to get this into the frame, get it bolted down, and find a nice tidy spot for our wires to run up to the control box. So we've mounted our winch control switch. This is a wired switch, of course. There's a wireless as well. So we've mounted it to the handlebar here, bolted it in place. It's nice and snug, and we've routed the wire in through the headlight unit and then appropriately down to our control box underneath. After we've connected all of our wires up to the appropriate terminals on our control box, we're ready to mount this box, and then we're going to be tidying up some of this excess wire. We're nearing the end of this installation. We've got the control box mounted to one of the front struts. It's not in the way of the rad. We've got all these wires wound up, tied up, nice and solid in here, not in the way of anything. And I don't think it's going to be very visible from the side of the machine, so we've done the best we can. These machines don't give us a whole lot of room to do this sort of thing, but we're pretty much ready now to test the unit out, and then we'll finish by reattaching our front bumper piece, and we'll be on our way. Well, we're finished. Knuckles are not bloody. We had a few challenges to overcome. One being that the universal bracket did not work particularly well with this machine, so we did have to order a custom bracket from Polaris, but that did work out really, really well. It's a solid mount, it's a good tow point. Polaris has their winches mounted at a low center of gravity, so you're not pulling the front of the machine down so much. We got our wiring all in, and here we are, we're ready to test it out. So we've turned on our wireless controller here, and that's what we want to see. We hook on to whatever we need to connect to, and we press the button to go back in. Pretty happy with this installation. This looks like a quality product. All we need to do now is get out, get stuck, and give it a try out in the real world.